Hi everyone, my name is Carole Kamangu. I'm a nurse epidemiologist and an infection prevention and control consultant. Recently, I wrote a blog post on the 5 steps to optimize your infection control program for maximum impact. In assessing your program, you're able to find out what your program strengths and weaknesses are. And there are several tools that I provide on the blog post where you can assess your program for risks and also identify what your priorities are. The second step is prioritizing those risks by level of severity. When you have a list of risks, it's easy to find out that you have 20 possible risks and 20 possible priorities to deal with. And we all know that it's impossible as a human to deal with all priorities at the same time. So the important next step is to prioritize them and analyze which one is the most important based on the severity level to your patient population, to your staff, visitors. And by doing so, you're able to prioritize your action, prioritize your interventions for the year, for the quarter, for the semester. Third step is regularly observing and streamlining those procedures based on the interventions that you have set in place. For example, you spending your time as an infection preventionist or infection program leader going to meet with your EVS team, your environmental services team. And one of the steps you can take is called the Gamba walk. The Gamba walk means going where the work is done to see how the team is implementing their processes, how the team is doing the work that's required of them. So after this step, the next step will be for you to implement utilization controls. And what do I mean by that? What that means is just regularly monitoring those processes. You've discussed with them, you've asked questions. Now you know what the gaps are, you know what the barriers are, and you know what they need to know to do their job correctly. And also, you want to ensure that resources are not misused, underused, or just not used efficiently. So the focus is to promote efficiency and to promote compliance with regulatory guidelines and also evidence-based practice. So the final step after you've done your program assessment and your gap analysis and you have prioritized your risks by severity level, you've done your rounding and Gamba walk and found out what the barriers are for proper implementation. And you've set systems in place for ensuring that your resources are used efficiently. Then you can promote a continuous improvement mindset and ensure that there are systems in place that work where staff can be audited for proper practices, that the procedures are followed step by step, policies are updated and compliant with guidelines. Then work with your stakeholders and make sure that processes are followed and observed and that the data is collected regularly and analyzed for improvement so that things can continue to be done according to guidelines. So those are the 5 steps that are covered in this blog post. And I'm also providing a checklist to help you get started with this process in your facility. And also on the blog, I provide a link to all the risk assessment tools so that you're able to use them within your facility.